Thank you very much. We're now joined by Hall of Fame columnist John McClain, GallerySports.com, 610 Sports Radio in Houston. I know that a lot of what you do, people think is NFL and NFL only, but you do keep up with a lot of others. Did you ever bump into at all Mike Leach?
I didn't, but I kept up with his career from the time he got to Lubbock, since I'm, such a big Baylor fan, and I watched his career. I thought he would never be able to resurrect his head coaching career after the scandal and the controversy of his battle with Craig James's family over what they claimed was his abuse and mistreatment of their son Adam. And I'm glad he got another chance at Washington State. And that was such an ugly ending there that kind of served to offshoot all the great things he'd done out there. I remember when he did the weather report. I remember when he said he wanted to throw the ball because he didn't think in Lubbock you could get a lot of guys to come out there when they were the big linemen, big offensive linemen. They're going to go to A&M, Texas, Oklahoma, and LSU. So he had to throw the ball in place of the run, throw it set up for run, and he was happy with a 4 or 5 yard completion on first down, and it worked. And he called it the air raid. His mentor was Hal Mumme. He'd been with Mumme in 3 different places. The last one at Kentucky, where Guy Morris was before he came to Baylor. 1 year at Oklahoma, and he got that job. And Leach said some crazy things that get other coaches fired. Like players spend too much time listening to their fat girlfriends when he get lost a game to A&M. Today, can you imagine what that would be like? But he always survived, I think, because people came to expect the outrageous from Mike Leach, and sometimes it overshadowed what a terrific offensive innovator he was.
Yeah, absolutely. John, to the NFL now, one of his, greatest players was Cliff Kingsbury, the first quarterback to play for him. Last night, that Patriots and Cardinals game was pretty interesting. Kyler Murray's out. Cliff Kingsbury keeps losing. And Mac Jones and Matt Patricia don't seem to be getting along, but the Patriots won last night. Do you think Cliff Kingsbury is short for that job in Arizona? And what do you think is going to go on with Mac Jones and Matt Patricia down the line?
I think that Bill Belichick next year will have a legitimate offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, maybe Cliff Kingsbury, maybe Billy O'Brien at Alabama, who coached there for 5 years. I don't think they would have a hard time getting a good coach to go there, because if you want to be if you want an opportunity to be a head coach, or you want an opportunity to be a general manager, go to the Patriots. That's how Bill O'Brien got the job with Penn State and played a big role in him getting the job with the Texans. I'm sure Kingsbury's going to be fired. Remember, he had a cup of coffee at USC as the offensive coordinator. And I think Cliff will be an offensive coordinator somewhere. Unless Kyler Murray makes a miraculous recovery from torn ACL surgery and rehab, there's a good chance he can miss the start of next season. But, there have been some players make miraculous comebacks from ACL surgery, most notable being Adrian Peterson, who had the quickest recovery I've ever seen at a 2,000-yard season. So I like Clint Kingsbury. I wish him the very best. If he gets fired, Steve Keim, GM, he's been there a long time. Maybe he needs to go too, because he's the one that hired Cliff. But Cliff hopefully will land on his feet as an offensive coordinator at a big-time program in college.
John, I don't know that many people out there had any grand expectations for Cowboys and Texans as far as a competitive ball game goes, but it was that and more. Jalen Petrie had himself a heck of a day. Just your thoughts on watching that one unfold.
Craig, I picked it Cowboys 42-13, and I was astonished. And I never thought the Cowboys would lose the game. They just have so much more talent than the Texans did. But the Texans didn't allow a sack to a team that had 48 in most of the league. They didn't allow any to Cleveland the week before with Myles Garrett. The rotation at quarterback kind of surprised everybody, kept the Cowboys off balance. Texans had a chance to win the game with 5 minutes left, and they blew it. And I thought then, no way. Cowboys going to lose this game, even though I get the ball on the 2-yard line.
John McClain with us, the Houston Chronicle. John, Jalen Petrie, I mean, when we have thrown out what's wrong with the defense this year or why were they not this and that, obviously Petrie, Bernard, J.T. Woods, among others, Tejada had left. But your thoughts about where he is and the reputation of where he is right now as a rookie in the NFL. He was fantastic.
It's very interesting because he was missing a lot of tackles. According to Pro Football Focus, at one point he was second the most missed tackles by a safety, and didn't seem that didn't happen to him when he was at Baylor. And then they had him playing around the line of scrimmage like he played at Baylor, and he struggled making tackles in the open field. So they moved him to free safety, and he's been great. He makes a lot of tackles. He makes hard hits. He forces turnovers, and I think that now is his position. And they've been playing well on defense. It's amazing to me. The Texans have allowed the fewest touchdown passes in the NFL. The worst team in the NFL has given up 11 touchdown passes. There's 5 teams that have given up 12, most of them good. And people go, well, they're last against the run. They're probably number 1 in touchdowns allowed rushing. No, they're not. They're fifth most. And Petrie has really bounced back. They've always loved his personality, his leadership ability, everything I told them they're going to love because I watched him at Baylor so closely, and as you guys said. And so Derek Stingley's been out for like 4 games with a hamstring injury, and Petrie's kind of stealing the thunder. But one thing I do know, they will not be drafted a defensive back high like they did this year with first and second round picks.
John, do you right now they've got the first pick in the draft, and who knows if that change. Do you think it will definitely be a quarterback with that first pick, or could you see them later on doing that because they have the other picks as well?
Well, first of all, Paul, that's not going to change. They're the worst team in the league, and they're going to get the first pick. They can win a game and still get the first pick. That's why Houston fans who hate Cowboy fans down here were so disappointed for them to come so close to pulling off that upset. And Cowboys fans down here just kind of treat them like a gnat on their shoulder, the Texans. And so they need a quarterback. You know, Davis Mills, I still blame his regression on Pep having promoted from quarterback coach to being a coordinator. I think he's done a bad job. And I think they're all going to be fired. But I'll say this, if you have a chance to get a quarterback you think is a franchise, you better take it. You may think, oh, we'll wait till next year with Caleb Williams. Well, there's no guarantee you're going to get him. And if you use your first round pick you got from Cleveland, you don't know who's going to be there. Now, that being said, the 2 best prospects are Jalen Carter, the Georgia defensive tackle. Texans desperately need a defensive tackle like that. And Will Anderson Jr., the edge rusher from Alabama, Texans desperately need an edge rusher. But when Jeff Driscoll is rotating with Davis Mills against the Dallas Cowboys, it shows how much they need a franchise quarterback. But I'll say this, if they have Jalen Carter or Will Anderson Jr. way ahead of any quarterback, they'd be stupid not to take one.
Thank you, John. We appreciate your time as always.
Thank you, guys.
That's John McClain, Houston Chronicle for many, many years. Now part of GallerySports.com, Sports Radio 610, Hall of Famer, NFL Hall of Famer, and major part of the NFL